What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Gentry and Sons, and welcome back to another video. So we're back from Florida. We just got home, and we're right back at it. We're in Florida. We did, I guess you could consider it was a vacation or a workcation. Would you say a workcation?
Workcation away from home.
Yep. So we had a good time. Our daughter did amazing at her.
Yes, her and her team did phenomenal.
So we went to our cheer competition, and I did get to go by the I-75 truck show. I didn't get to take a truck because I wanted to focus on her 100% on this competition. It's a big accomplishment. It's a big achievement to get to go to this competition.
Invitation only competition.
Yes, it's huge. And my wife puts so much work into the cheer, and so much work. Emmy puts so much work into the cheer.
Hey, I just take her. That girl does the work.
She does. She
I
does.
can't take any credit for that.
Yeah, but you as a mom, you take it serious.
I do take it serious.
You go to the end of the world for what she's doing. So just like I do with Brax, and we do the same thing with Zayden, Emmy, Hudson.
If they want to do it, I'll make it happen.
Yes, it's going to happen. So, so we did focus on that, and while we were there, we got to focus on the business. We got to, go over our safety. We got to go over our DOT scores, our insurance. So the things in the background that most people don't get to see with trucking companies, especially small trucking companies, in today's industry, which, guys, in today's industry, if you're not a big, huge mega carrier with millions of dollars worth of bonds and self-insurement and, the government sitting there making things easy for you and all of your... they get all these big tax credits and things that make it hard for us to be in business as a small trucking company owner. Those are the things that we're trying to focus on right now. And like right now, we're working on safety for this month. So we're trying to go out and get some really good inspections this month. And it's a good time to do so because it is...
Blitz Week, or the month of Blitz Week.
Yep. So I know Washington just had a statewide blitz. And we're getting ready to have a countrywide, I guess you would say.
May 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's 72 straight hours.
What they're focusing on this year is ABS.
And cargo securement.
With those types of inspections, guys, for any trucking company, you should be able to go out and get some really good inspections. They're going to be level ones. And if you can go out and... Like with us, we're running 13 trucks this week and next week and the week after. We're going after it hardcore. So we're going to go through all of our trucks from front to back. And you guys are going to get to be involved with that. Full inspections. Our ABS, we're really focusing on to make sure all of our ABS modules, our ABS lights on the trucks, everything is in good working order.
Because during the inspections, officers verify that the Keon ABS self-test is passed and the malfunction light has to be able to be turned back off afterwards.
So what that means is, like on the trailer, on the back of a trailer, you have your red marker light and then you have an amber ABS light. So when you hit your brakes, that ABS light should kick on and immediately kick right back off, showing that it's working. So it goes through a self-test every time you mash your brakes. So your truck also has an ABS light in the dash. So when you do your self-test or you turn your key on, it goes through a self-test ABS light. And, that's the things that they're going to be looking for. They're also going to be looking at load securement, which is also it should be an easy pass.
Oh, yeah, that should be an easy pass. You need to make sure that your straps are good because they're going to be checking that quality of your straps. They want to make sure that they're using the right straps. Different cargo requires different straps.
Your chains, binders, the whole 9 yards. Make sure nothing's going to fall off your truck. If you got, say you got
and that you have enough. Some people don't have enough. They will make sure that your cargo has the correct amount of tie downs, despite whatever type of tie down you have.
If you're carrying wood on your trailer, if you've got any kind of extra cargo laying on your trailer, whether it's even your straps, say where you store your straps. If you don't have a toolbox and you just throw them on your trailer, you're going to get wrote up for that. Like if anything's laying there that can fall off, if you got rocks or gravel or dirt on your trailer, anything like that can fall off, you're going to get wrote up for it. So right now, guys, is a really good opportunity for you to get some good inspections. And one thing that we've been dealing with on our trucks and trailers is they might be in really good shape here when they leave the house, but when they get out to Washington, that's a 2,500 mile trip. You drive all the way to Washington, unload your load, and then turn around and drive all the way back. Well, on your way back, there's no telling. You can lose a wire, a light. The roads are extremely rough these days. And if you're on your way back home, you hit a big old bump in the road and it knocks a headlight out, or when you're, you got, on most of your lights, you just got two little prongs that clip in. If you hit a big bump and that wire comes out and you lose that light, you pull into a scale house and they do an inspection on you, you're going to get wrote up for that light. And lights are like 6 points on your DOT score. And when you get a bunch of those little violations like that, say with us, when we were just running up 3 or 4 trucks, it wasn't that big of a deal because it was very rare that you got inspected. Now that we have so many trucks running up and down the road, you got a way bigger chance of getting an inspection. So what we're focusing on right now is definitely our DOT score.
Yeah.
We're trying to get cheaper insurance because right now we're paying, we paid almost $400,000 this year.
400,000.
And we can't afford that. Not in today's industry, not with today's rates and fuel prices and getting tires and getting brakes and any kind of maintenance and stuff that you got to deal with. You can't afford to spend $30,000 or $40,000 a year on truck insurance. So these big companies, the way they're getting through this, and I feel like the big companies is what's controlling the industry right now. You know, like I said, they get big, huge tax breaks where we don't. We got to pay tremendous taxes. They get, 9 times out of 10, if you're rolling up on a scale and you're following, say, a Swift truck or a U.S. Express or any of these bigger companies, you're going to see them drive right by the scale because they're 9 times out of 10 going to get a green light because they get bypassed from these scales, and which is another big thing. If you got a big company like Swift that, you see all the time, they're in accidents, they are truly an unsafe company because they'll just train anybody, stick them in a truck and let them go.
I will absolutely not drive beside one.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, they fly down the roads. They're all over the place. UPS. I mean, these big companies, it's bullcrap because they literally get bypassed every single scale.
Yeah.
They do not get held to the standards that we do.
They'll
it is what it is.
Search our engines before they even bother even.
Oh my gosh, it is insane. So we get pulled into a scale and we are held to a extremely high standard. They go through our equipment from front to back, and
the book from front and back, driver to front and back. I'm surprised they don't just do random. Can you walk
strip searching? Yeah,
Let's take your clothes off.
That's something else we're working on is how to better our inspections. So we know how we're going to get treated. We know what our inspections are going to be like. Mm-hmm. And we're taking those precautions now. So we are switching our trucks over to ELDs.
Which is a big thing.
It is huge.
We've been talking to our safety auditor and...
Yep. Like I actually have a relationship.
With the guy that did what is that called?
Our initial safety audit.
Our initial one, yes.
Yep. So we actually have a really good relationship with him. As like a professional relationship where we can call him and say, hey, we're having a problem with this. Can we get your opinion on it? I call him all the time because I want to have a very safe company. I want to have the best company. And this is all we have. Our name is on this company. And if it fails, we fail. And, that's what pays our bills. It's what feeds our family. It's what keeps all these other families afloat and feeds their families and keeps them a career. So we're trying as business owners to be better business owners. We know how they're treating us. We know how they treat our kind of company now.
You'll never know everything.
No.
It's up to you to seek out the knowledge and want to learn more because there will always be more to learn.
And you've got to overcome how they're going to treat you. Now that we have enough trucks to where we're getting inspected all the time, that gives us, now we know how we have to run our company.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
we've learned in the last 3 months that, hey, we have to step our game up.
True.
We have to, if we want to be in business and we want to have a trucking company, we're going to have to do the things that we don't want to do to make it easier for us to send our guys out and go through a scale. So like ELDs, as soon as they come up to our trucks and find out that they're a glider and they're on paper, automatically you're getting a level 1
Just not
inspection.
having the sticker that advertises an ELD
Yeah.
is a red flag to them. Give you those little stickers when they give you your ELD boxes because they probably know that too.
Yep,
Those are optional. Slap those bad boys on when you install.
Yep. So we're putting our ELD stickers on our trucks, and I fought it. I fought it for 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
I am a person that does not want to be forced to do anything by the government, and ELDs is a force to me. Even though they say it's your freedom right, and you can run an older engine and not have to run them, and blah blah blah. That's bullcrap, because they are going to enforce it to where you have to have them. They're going to enforce it to where you can't live without them. Like, you pull into a scale and you don't have an ELD, you're getting a level 1 inspection, and then if you're going to fail it because you don't have it, even though they say that's discriminating, whatever, blah, 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 there's no way of proving it. There's no way. These guys are trained to go in there and force you into an ELD. It's all there is to it. So they're pushing it.
Now, I'm not for forcing anybody to do anything, but from my standpoint, it's probably an unpopular opinion, but, y'all are behind the wheel. For people like Jade and I who are in the office having to sort out all y'all stuff that you bring to us, I've been for ELDs for a while now, only because it makes my job a lot easier. These drivers have a lot going on, and it just keeps it neater and cleaner, easier on my part, but I also don't believe you should be forced to do it.
I mean, for state mileage,
if there's a big thing. So when
it is. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's going to make things easier to run ELD.
So, I mean, I'm on the fence. Like, I see the pros and I see the cons, but...
I mean, the driver parking, having to rush a clock.
Yeah, that part is just a little ridiculous.
It is, and... I'm good with running ELDs.
Right.
And if they would have give us an option to run an ELD, it would be a total different story.
Little Mr. Rebel. As long as you give him an option, he's okay. But don't you tell him he's got to do it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's not right that...
I agree.
I mean, I just don't feel like it's right where you don't have the option. And then... So, we have been running ELDs for a while now in some of our trucks. And... we just had a violation come up the other day where one of our drivers, we run Motive, they are good, but we're having a customer service problem.
Now that is true. They will blow you up to sell you some equipment, and the minute you sign with them, good luck trying to fix an issue. That is the problem we're at right now.
Yeah, that is our biggest issue is we do have Motive, and any of our trucks that are supposed to be on ELDs are on ELDs. And our biggest issue is the customer service. So we can't.
We had 2 boxes fail.
Yeah.
Completely fail, and it not be on anybody but us because we can't get Motive. Because when it comes to ELDs, timing is everything. You're only allowed legally so many days.
It's 8 days.
It's 8 days, and you're lucky to even get somebody to respond to you in 7, much less get your box back in 8.
Yeah. So we had a driver go through the scales the other day. His box has been messed up for 10 days.
It was 10, yes.
Yep. He was on paper, showed the officer everything he needed to see.
He even had documentation of how we've been going back and forth with Motive.
Yep.
Because, just extra documentation to back up his issue, because you never know what kind of officer you're going to get that day.
Well, we got one that did not give a crap.
They did not care. They did not care.
So he flat out said, you're not supposed to be out here if it's over 8 days. Even though his paper logs looked absolutely perfect, there was no issue with them, he still put that truck out of service for 10 hours. So there, we have an out-of-service violation on our logs, which is a huge, that's a big hit on our safety score. And I think it's bullcrap that they can do that. Even though we had documentation showing that, hey, we have e-logs, our system's messed up, we're having a hard time getting with the company, we're having a hard time getting them to fix it. It was on their end, it ain't on our end. And So therefore, we got a violation for it, and there's not a dang thing we can do about it. Nothing. And that's what struck the whole entire inspection was the e-logs. Even though he showed him how good his paper logs looked, he said, logs look perfect. But you're supposed to be on e-logs. I'm putting you out of service for 10 hours. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but then again, I'm good with paper logs too. You know, you have some good drivers out there that can do some good paper logs, and it doesn't take too much more time for Jade and I to go through and audit those ourselves. But I mean, it is nice being able to just be sitting there at lunch and you something beep and like, oh, you got this and this issue. Look, this person's 2 miles over the speed limit. This person did a hard break. This person took the curve a little too fast. Like, it tells you everything.
yeah, it is a good system when it works right.
When it works right. But like any other technology, there's error. There's error with human. There's human error just as much as there's technology error. I mean, you're never going to have a perfect setup. There's always going to be room for error.
What kills me about it is the fact that we finally make the decision to go e-logs.
Yeah, it took a while. Like,
And when we're on paper, no violations
none
ever.
at all.
We've never had
None at all.
we've never had a paper log violation.
Ever.
And then we go and try to be by the book, do things the right way, put our guys on e-logs, and we go out and get put out of service over our logs. I mean, how does that work? How is that even a thing? And how is it? So that's the things we're dealing with. That's what we're working on as a company. We're trying to perfect it. So say we do have an e-log problem with one of our trucks.
You'll never perfect it, but you can get it pretty daggone close.
Yep. Since we have an e-log problem with our trucks, what do we do as a backup? Do we have a spare truck sitting to replace that truck with until we can get it fixed?
The point is you have to close that truck down until you fix something as simple as to, why can't I update the software on my ELD?
Yep.
Like, that's enough reason to shut down a perfectly working truck, even though they already have the backup for the paper logs with the capability of doing it. And they teach you that in school. I would hope you have the capability of doing it if you're behind a wheel.
Yep. So now we have that truck shut down right now.
Yes.
We're having to get the black 389 ready for him to go in it because he can't work right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to take that truck off the road. It is. I tried to get with FMCSA to get a exemption note to where
Would not do it.
Yep,
They would not do it.
cannot get the exemption note to where he can continue running. He's already been violated for being 10 days without his ELD. And so I'm having to put the 389 on the road to put him in until we can get it addressed. So now that we've got that situation dealt with, we are putting that driver in the 389. So for the next day or two, I'm going to be going through that truck from front to back, top to bottom. It's got to go to Canada. So I'm without a doubt 100% sure that truck is going to get an inspection. And our hopes is we go through all of our equipment. We spend the next week completely going through our equipment, our ELD devices, our paper log trucks, our trailers, our ABS systems.
Folders.
Folders is a big thing. So DOT officers love when you have very organized folders, which these girls right here, her and Jade, they take the folders very, very serious. And you want to give them some examples of how they should keep their folders? So here's a good example of how to keep your book. This is the kind of books we run.
That's just in 1/2 inch. You don't gotta have no big 3-inch binder like you took the English lit or anything. Like something small. First thing you see is your cab card. Next is gonna be your truck registration. This is your A cord. So when you do proof of insurance, they prefer the A cord. So we always put our A cord first. Inspection for your truck. If the license. This is our MC paper. This is our certificate of having a motor carrier authority. Then you're going to enter all of your registration. So this is how we do for our trailers. You have registration on one side, inspection on the other. And you have them for every single one. Because you do not want to keep up with having to tote these bad boys out of that truck. Because I promise you, you're going to forget it. A driver's going to forget it. These stay in the truck that it's assigned to. This one is this one. It'll never leave.
Yep, as long as that's in your truck.
And these should be checked every pre-trip, every post-trip, because your office staff needs to know if something is 1, out of date, 2, damaged, 3, missing. So that way we can get you a copy immediately. But this is something that should be checked daily. Some drivers probably have cobwebs on theirs.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing if you have cobwebs on yours.
Oh, I mean, part of your pre-trip is to check your paperwork.
Check your paperwork, absolutely.
And part of your post-trip is to check your paperwork. You might be driving down the road and have to stop and get an inspection or something.
And
that officer has to pull something out, and it might not get put back in there.
Exactly. Or it could have gotten missed when you do annuals, because I can guarantee you, these vehicle examination things right here, these annuals that we do, they're not ever done at the same time. So maybe one got missed. It is your job to check these, because we don't get up in your truck, so you need to let us know. We are more than happy to get you anything that you need, but we can't know unless you tell us. Same thing with something wrong with your truck. If you're having an issue, which would be found during a pre-trip or a post-trip, you would let the people know so they can fix whatever issue you have.
And don't wait till you get home to get it fixed.
No, absolutely not. We can.
That's one of our biggest.
Copy, print it out in your truck. I hope you have a printer, because
that's DOT standards.
That's DOT standards. So print that bad boy out, slap it in, and you're good to go.
So there's no excuse anymore not to be able to have really good paperwork, really organized. And we get an inspection, that's what they see. And
then I use these folders, these little parts of the sleeves for. They can keep up with your shipping docs. Those are important too on your logs. They want you should have documentation on any load that you're on. Keep it in here. It won't get bent. I can't bend this, guys. You're going to turn in really neat paperwork. Your office staff will really love you.
Yep.
We don't like all crumpled up stuff. Don't empty your pockets and shove it into an envelope and turn it in. Keep it nice and neat.
That'll make your life easier, the office life easier. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
So those are things that can help with DOT inspections. The ELDs, we're in that process now. We're trying to get it figured out. But
I'm forgetting something.
Let's see. We went over folders. We went over the blitz coming up.
And when you do pre-trip and post-trip, make sure you're walking around that truck and trailer. If you're doing one, you better not be sitting in your driver's seat. Yep. You need to be.
I will be showing. So guys, I'm getting ready to put the 389 on the road. So in my next video, I'm going to be doing a full pre-trip inspection. And that annual inspection in that book right there, if you just open that book and you take your book with you outside of the truck, there's an annual inspection, and bring it here, I'll show it to them. All right, right here is everything that the DOT is going to look for. Everything.
And look at that. Braking is first. I wonder why.
Yep, so you got your brake system, coupling devices, exhaust system, fuel system, lighting devices, safe loading, steering mechanism, suspension, frame, tires, wheels and rims, windshield wipers, all this stuff right here.
While we're here, I'm going to make a quick notation. So, I had to redo all of these, even though they were not out of date, for one reason. Read the instructions. They went through and they did these with X's. X's mean something entirely different than a check mark. Check mark means good. X is bad. Well, yeah, marking it okay under the okay is not good enough. You can't put an X there. You have to put a check there, because if you see down here, if you notate with an X, that means that there's something wrong. So I had to go through and do a whole bunch, not to no fault of their own. I should have made that clear. But make sure you're checking these and not Xing. X's means that there's something wrong, even if you put it in the okay slot.
You are 1,000% correct.
Because it's time consuming to have to redo 40 of these bad boys. It took me 3 days.
Yep. So that's a big thing. Go and do your pre-trips. And at the end of the day, do a post-trip.
2290s. Don't forget your 2290s. Those are important too.
Yep, because that's a big tax thing.
Yeah,
they want to know that you've been paying your way.
And that's all it is a money thing. They don't even care what the truck is. You type in that VIN number, pay them the money, anybody's getting one. So, as long as you pay it.
So $22.90, when you get your truck registered, that is your state highway tax. Federal. I guess it's federal.
That's a federal, because once you send that to the IRS, you can't get it back. Like, you got to go through the IRS to change it. We had an issue actually this year. I don't remember if it was a VIN. You can do a VIN correction pretty simply, but I don't know what the deal was. But once it was sent to the IRS, we could no longer talk to the people that did the 2290s. We had to actually get a hold of the IRS to fix the change.
So those are some things that'll help you with some good clean inspections, and DOT won't shut you down. And
keep the truck clean. Cleaning it regularly, I think, should be a part of maintenance.
Yep, we get our trucks cleaned
every week, every 2 weeks at the max. Like, don't go any a little bit longer than that.
And most of your drivers ain't going to want to they don't want to stop. They don't want you got drivers that'll polish your wheels and keep it clean, and you got drivers that just want to go out, do their job, turn around, come back in.
Representation of this company, and I get it. It's
Yep.
not your livelihood at stake, but if you're going to work for somebody, you want to be the face of that. Show that you are good at it. You know? Be clean.
Treat it. So we like our drivers. We like our drivers to think that my truck is their truck.
Absolutely.
Like if they want to say they're an owner operator, by all means, here you go, buddy. You just keep it in good shape, keep it clean. And we pay our drivers like they're owner operators. We treat them like they're their own boss because
we treat them like their family, and that's what they are. I mean, it's a respect thing. We respect you, you respect us. It's just the way life is. Respect everybody.
Because truck drivers have big egos. They do. All of us. I'm guilty of it.
Y'all are your own breed.
We are definitely, all of us have our big egos, and we all want to feel like we're our own boss. We own our own truck. That's a big thing. And I want my drivers to all feel that way. Even if I own the truck, my name's on the truck, I want them to think it's theirs just as much as it is mine. And it is. They're part of our business. We're a family-run business. And most companies treat it this way. You're not a trucking company without your drivers.
Absolutely.
So therefore, they are part of your business.
There's no reason that you should ever think of them as being less than, period.
Yep.
They should be equal. They are the reason why you are operating, period.
Exactly. Even though we killed ourselves for years to build our business to get it where it's at,
yes.
those drivers come in and helped us take it to the next level.
And their families are so important. And just, it all boils down to respect goes a long way.
It does. Without a doubt, 100%. And pay. That's another thing we take pretty serious. Our drivers make more money than us. Without a doubt. I mean, our company makes good money, but we put our money back into the company. That's why you always see our company growing. And a lot of people, I get that question a lot. Like, people are always like, man, I don't get it. How's your company growing so fast and so well? And how do you got so many trucks? And how are you paying cash for them? Guys, we take a salary. Me and my wife split a salary every single week. And everything else stays in the company. So we make less money than our drivers do.
Absolutely.
When I started driving, the way we paid me was I made 25% of whatever the truck grossed. And that's how we got our paycheck every week. Well, after we were in business and we got our bills here at home on a budget, we took our pay down to $1,000 a week. And then once the company was established a little bit more, we went to a $1,500 a week salary.
We have stayed, and we have no problem living off of that.
No.
We have no problem at all.
This household lives off $1,500 a week salary. And if you can't live off that, there is something wrong.
That's really good money. I mean, I know I'm coming from poor, but that's really good money. We can make it work. And I like to think I don't live, cheaply, so to speak. So if I can make that work, anybody can make that work.
Exactly. We pay all of our
but it's
bills.
mainly budget. You got to know what you can and cannot do.
And you have to keep your company and you have to keep your personal separate.
We don't even have the same account for our personal and our business. We don't even bank at the same bank as our personal and our business.
It's completely separate. And if I go out and buy something, if I bought something out of the company money, I'm telling you right now, she would come unglued. And whatever I had in my personal bank account, she's taking it back out and it's going right back to the company.
I do. Now, and vice versa. There has been times because I don't carry my company card. So if there's times I buy something for the company, I will reimburse Jade does that now. But I'll give her the receipt and she'll reimburse me. But that's the way it works. If we take from it, we give back. If we give to it, the same thing. Now, there's often that I won't reimburse myself, but I will always give back. Because I feel like it's taking.
There's a lot of times too where there's been many weeks and months where we didn't even take a paycheck.
That is also true.
Because we wouldn't have been able to pay a driver or something like that. And pay your drivers well because they are making your money. Your driver.
Yes, absolutely.
So the way we
don't starve your drivers. They are hard workers. They are such hard workers.
Yep. So if they ain't making 25 to 30% of whatever that truck makes, you need to rethink some things because they should make 30% of what your truck makes. And we pay our drivers. We start our drivers off at 50 cents a mile.
Yes, that is start.
Then once you put your time in, you get to work. then it just keeps going up from there. 50, 55,
and that's
60.
round trip miles. That's not one way. You've got
Yeah.
to pay these guys good. These people, they are sacrificing time with their families. They will never get that back. They are missing their babies grow. They are missing anniversaries and birthdays and Father's Days, and you need to compensate them.
For
period.
sure. And our drivers I like to think they make pretty good money. I mean, there's very few weeks where you don't see a $2,500, $3,000 paycheck on any driver.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
if they're in that truck, guarantee it.
Yep.
Guarantee it.
They should make. I mean, they've got to make good money because they are. They're away from their families. They're away from home. They're away from their kids.
We were there. I know exactly what it feels like to not have you.
For 6 years straight.
Yeah.
For 6 years straight, I ran 4,500 miles a week plus, and I'd get to come home for a few hours, see the wife and kids, and right back on the road. We had a parking spot right next to the house, and I'd jump out of the truck, get right back in it, and then when I wasn't driving it, I was working on it.
That's true. That is true.
So, I mean, there was very little time for 6 years straight.
Yep.
But look where we're at today. We have a nice home.
Absolutely.
We have nice vehicles. We have somewhat of financial freedom. We're still trying to dig out of this hole that this fire put us in. And it seems like every day we learn of something else that we lost and more money that we lost. But that was a whole mess on its own. Everybody keeps asking if we got paid from insurance and all that stuff. We have not got paid for any insurance on the shop. There is an insurance firm right now trying to get us some sort of pay on it. The insurance coverage that we had was not the right coverage for what we needed.
That's a big thing is you need to be close with your insurance company. You need to be talking weekly. You need to make sure things with insurance changes so often, and you're not going to be on top of it, but your agent will be. So you need to make sure that you're always up to date and that you have what you need.
And you need to have a good insurance agent that knows you, your company, what you have. Guys, we pay extremely amount of like our insurance payment every week or monthly is what, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month at this point?
Yes, it is.
So we pay the insurance. We thought we had the right insurance. We thought we would be covered.
For $50,000, you would think you were doing just fine on insurance, but no, absolutely not.
So we thought we would be covered no matter what. Anything that happens to our company, if a truck runs over a rock, that rock should be covered. If somebody comes up and hits you at a truck stop and tears your whole front end off, is your truck going to be covered? Is your business burns?
Understand your daily ins and outs, so that way they can make sure you're getting covered in anything that you may need.
Yeah, and your business location. So they will insure your location, but you need to make sure which location it is. So say like you have two properties. So like where our office is and our shop is it's connected. It's on the same property, but we have two different addresses. So say our office would have burnt that night, it would have been covered no problem.
Yeah, it would have been covered no problem, but because it has a different box with a different story,
Yep.
even though it's connected.
And then your assets. So say you buy a tool. If I go somewhere and I buy a new machine or something, I just put it in the shop. I don't think nothing about it. I don't call the insurance company and inventory it or anything like that. And receipts from 25 years ago, that's another thing. They send you this packet of paper, and anything that you have in your shop that you want covered, you've got to have a receipt for it, what it costs, this, that. People don't keep up with that stuff. I mean, we will now. From here forward, we will definitely keep up with it, but
We have our business card linked to QuickBooks. There's not a thing that gets swapped or taken out of our, even if it's just cash. If it comes out of our business account, QuickBooks knows about it, and QuickBooks expects us to tell it why we needed it in a little memo. Well, that's honestly for me and the accountant, and what it was for, and that way the accountant can work on what it needs from a tax standpoint.
Yep. So those are some things that really help a business come along, and things that we've learned.
Have a good relationship with your accountant as well.
Yeah, that's for
sure. You
sure.
can never have.
And get an accountant. We went so long without one. Holy crap! We went years without an accountant.
Years without one. We have a great one now, local, and he's great.
He is.
We talk to him pretty much weekly. You have a meeting with him Monday, by the way.
Yep, I do. And So, with the shop burning and all that stuff, so to have a shop the size we need, and we're buying the farm over here where we're planning on putting the shop and all this stuff. So, we're not just some rich people who can go out and buy a piece of property like we're paying for that property every month. It's not like we own that thing, went and paid $500,000 for it. So we have payments on that property. We don't have a lot of debt with our business, but we are starting to grow and to grow to the size that we need to grow and to accommodate our size trucking company and our size fleet and our drivers and stuff. We need a pretty good size shop. So that shop's going to cost us $250,000. If I'd had an accountant 4 years ago when I should have had one, and I'd had done my taxes right, that would have done this right and done that right and guided us in the right direction, then right now I could go to the bank tomorrow and get any amount of money that I need.
Easily.
We have perfect credit. We have perfect income.
And that took a long time, guys. You're talking about two people that came up very poor. Coming up very poor means we started out with no credit. As a matter of fact, I think we started out with bad credit.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because as soon as we were old enough to get a cell phone, we went and got one. And
our parents didn't buy our cell phones. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So as soon as we were old enough, we got our own. We made stupid mistakes.
We did. We both of us. If we could finance we financed our first cell phones together, and I mean, she drove this old piece of crap Mustang, which we loved that car.
Talk about her like
I mean, yeah, it got
she
you.
She got me to college and back every day, guys. That was
did.
the first car I ever bought, and I paid for it cash in full.
She
Obviously
did.
in full.
She worked her butt off. She worked at Walmart.
I did. I worked at Walmart.
I would go in Walmart every day just to look at her, and
I went to school half a day and worked half a day. I did.
Then I would work, and that's how we kind of ended up together after, is with work, really, because she wrecked her car. We went on a date the night before, but then she wrecked her car that next day coming home from college, and I had a tow truck, so I went and towed her car to my house. She didn't want her dad to find out.
My dad would have killed me.
Yep, and she's like, so can you fix it? Can you fix it? So I went and picked her up, and that day, that's when we started hanging out and really being pretty serious, and we ain't spent a night apart since. I mean, that was the day.
That was the day.
Which we knew each other in high school really well, and she would never date me. I
didn't date.
I was a bad boy. I was a
good girl. I read in my extra time if I told you anything about my personal life.
But we did. We grew up poor.
I was straight.
We come up and. So we made some bad decisions financially. We, financed stuff we shouldn't have financed. Like I said, our cell phones, and then didn't even have the money to pay our cell phone bills. So that messed our credit up, and so we had to fix all that kind of stuff. We didn't have any guidance. Our parents didn't have credits and didn't, do that kind of stuff. So it was a learning curve for both of us, and
we taught ourselves.
Yeah. And still, to this day,
we've been breaking generational curses is what we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy when life just doesn't start out in your favor.
No, you're right. So, I see a lot of comments on YouTube that everybody thinks we're spoon-fed babies or silver spoon babies or whatever. Guys, we literally come up from... Our parents struggled to make it. They weren't rich. They were the same way we were. They didn't have rich parents, We both decided, hey, we're not going to live like that. Our kids aren't going to live like we did. And I love my parents. They gave me the best life they could possibly give me. And our parents did the same thing.
That's it.
But
I didn't have a bad life at all. Like, I didn't have absent parents. My parents were very committed to raising my brother and I.
Yeah.
But we were just poor, and that's just the way it is around here. We're from a low-income town. Most people are poor.
Yep.
And I didn't think anything of it when I was younger because most of the people around us were poor too.
I agree 1,000%. And so, but I had this vision. She had the same vision. We both said, hey, we're going to have a big house. We're going to have this. And now we got the big house. We'd just rather have our double wide back. But it is.
You try cleaning this thing. I'm over it.
It is. It's a nightmare when you got 4 kids running around.
And 2 doodles. The doodles are the worst. I don't know. Is it the doodle or the husband?
I don't know. It's crazy either way. But there's a lot of stuff we haven't shared with you guys. We have a lot of things in our life that, we keep to ourselves and stuff. But we're going to try the social media thing again this year where she's more involved. I feel more comfortable sharing more of our personal life when she's with me. But to get you guys to understand the way we tick and the way we do things, and we thought about this while we were on our vacation, and we talked to a lot of fans when we were on vacation.
I said I promise I'd try.
Yep. So, you know, a big thing I think that's going to help us is sharing our life a little more and showing what makes us who we are. Got us to where we're at.
I just don't really do people, but I said I would try.
As long as people are respectful. So we don't like, my wife hates conflict. She is the most
Non-confrontational.
if you try anything conflict wise with her, if you disrespect her, if you're inappropriate towards her, I can promise you she'll never talk to you ever again. Ever. She will walk away from you. Probably
if
after
I do not talk to you,
you're either going to get backhanded.
Realize you probably did something I just didn't like. And half the time I won't even tell you why. I will just disappear. It's just me.
Yep.
I will let you be happy, and I will be happy somewhere else.
Yep. So that's just the way she is, and it's kind of. I used to be the total opposite, total. I was the type where if you disrespected me, I'd just smack the crap out
Now,
of
in
you.
my younger ages, I was a little more wild. I've probably done that, but now I've reached that age where my peace is more important than me having to defend anything about me, period. I would rather just have my peace. And if it costs me my peace, then it's too dang expensive.
Yep. So she is the type where if you disrespect her, if you send her stupid emails, inappropriate stuff, you're probably going to get blocked.
Stupid posts on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand that.
Do not even bother me with that. Just stupid stuff in general. Like, I can't. There's some things you probably just shouldn't post on Facebook.
There's a lot of things people shouldn't post on Facebook. And people go to Facebook with their problems.
They are keyboard warriors.
Yep. So
Bad.
We're not that type. You can do something to us. You can completely screw us over.
And don't talk about other people either. It's not just about me. I am for the people. I want everybody to be treated fairly.
1,000%. And that's what we fight for. We do fight for other people.
Zero tolerance on bullying. That is for children or adults. Like, if you can't treat somebody with respect, then you just shouldn't be treating people, period.
If you come at us, though, or if you do us wrong, more than likely we're the type that you just won't hear from us again.
True.
I'm
not going to fight you. It's not worth
If you
my
come
time.
borrow $1,000 from me and you don't pay me back like you say you're going to, you're probably just not going to hear from me again. You probably just, that $1,000 probably just got rid of a problem for me. But guys, we just got back from Florida, like I said, and we picked something up while we was in Florida. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Something I got to pay cash for. Actually, Cletus McFarland is the reason why I have this vehicle. When I went to work for Cletus, he gave me enough runs, and I just left my money with him until I needed it, until I found the perfect race car that I wanted. And when I found it, I called him up and said, "Hey, bro, if you don't care, go ahead and pay me." And like with Cletus, if I need paid for something, whether it's in a month, 6 months, or that day that I hauled it, he will pay me when he says he'll pay me. Like if I call him and say I need it, more than likely Cletus is going to pay me right then. So I left it with him for like 2 or 3 months that year. And when I found the car that I wanted, I called him and said, "Hey, the money that I've been building up, just go ahead and pay me for." And I went and paid cash for this Mustang. And that's what we picked up. We picked up the Fox body. Let's go down here. I'll show you guys the car. And we're going to finish up this video. So here it is, guys. The Fox body is home. So this is my 1991 Ford Mustang. It's got an LS in it, 6.0. It's just it's got a good set of heads on it. It's got good pistons and good rods. It ain't nothing special. It ain't got a forged crank or nothing like that in it. But it does make 1,100 horsepower. I did just have this turbo put on it in Florida, and there's a lot more work coming. So the car is nowhere near where I want it, and I'm getting ready to start finishing it up. And I will be sharing it on the YouTube channel. So I know it's a trucking channel. Another thing that me and my wife have both talked about and agreed on is in order to have a good representation of what drives us and drives our trucking company and drives our YouTube channel is what drives us. And things like this drive me and excite me and what makes me who I am as a person. So that's what this channel is going to be about, and it's going to stay about. Is it might not just be trucking content. It might be equipment, farming, racing, working on a race car. Yeah, we're going to race the race car. You going to race it? You think you can handle it? Yeah, of course. So, anyways, we're going to start putting more content on. And one thing about when I had this car on the channel before, I got a lot of that is, oh, we're here for trucking, we're not here for racing. Guys, if I put a video up, more than likely it's going to be in the thumbnail or the title. If you don't like it, if it's not something that you're going to want to watch, just don't watch it. You don't have to go in there and put a negative comment for the other people that are trying to be positive to see. Just be positive, and I promise you, if you start practicing that every single day, being positive, quit being negative, your life will be positive. You don't have to have a negative life. I used to be a negative person. I used to be a complete a-hole. And let me tell you, I was miserable all the time. And since I learned to be positive and learned to be a better person, my whole entire life, my whole entire demeanor, my whole entire success, everything has just completely changed. Sometimes you just got to let things roll off your shoulders and move on. Because I promise you, if you do, avoid the conflict and avoid the negativeness, you're going to live a lot longer, a lot happier, and a lot better. So be looking forward to some Fox Body videos. Tomorrow, you guys are going to be getting an awesome 389 video. But that's going to finish off today's video. We are home. We wanted to share with you guys about the inspections and things that we are going through. And you'll probably start seeing more of these videos. So we love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.